It all begins with a man named Abraham and the unlikeliest family you'd ever want to meet. If you're looking for a family where everyone always behaves honorably and heroically, though, think again. So why does a family like this figure so prominently in the biblical story? That's the question we're after this week. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas. The first question all parents ask when their child wants to go to a friend's house to play or to spend the night is, who are her parents? And when a grown child brings home a serious boyfriend or girlfriend, the question takes on an added dimension. Who are his people? And who are his mother's people? We ask these questions because we know that very often you can tell a lot about a person by the kind of family they come from. But scratch beneath the surface of nearly every family, and you'll find a wide variety of characters, some of whom are just never talked about. The story of Abraham and his family is a story like that. Now, the story of Abraham's family begins with a quick summary of how he came to be in the Promised Land. We don't actually learn a lot about Abraham or his family quite yet, other than the fact that Abraham believes God and God's promises. But even more importantly, we learn right up front the elusive answer to the question, why this family? But it is so understated that it is easy to overlook. So we first meet Abraham at the end of Genesis chapter 11, where we find he's one of 3 brothers born to a man named Terah. One of the brothers, Haran, dies early, but not before having a son of his own, Lot, who will figure prominently into the family story pretty early on. Terah and his family lived in a place called Ur of the Chaldeans, that somewhere around what is the southeast corner of modern Iraq. Terah planned to take his family to live in the land of Canaan, what will become the Promised Land, and as the crow flies, Canaan was only about 500 miles due west of Ur. But a straight line course would go straight through the Arabian desert, not a good place to travel. So the logical course was to follow the Fertile Crescent Valley to the northwest and then turn southwest. This is the area known as the Fertile Crescent and was the only sensible route. But for reasons unknown, they stopped before making the turn to the southwest and settled in a place called Haran, whose name bore no apparent relation to Abraham's late brother. It is here that the main story of the Bible begins, and we pick up at the very beginning of Genesis chapter 12. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Abram took his wife Sarah and his brother's son Lot, and all the possessions that they had gathered, and all the persons whom they had acquired in Haran. And they set forth to go to the land of Canaan. When they had come to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the place at Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. At that time the Canaanites were in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built there an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. So many interesting details here. Why did God appear to Abraham and not to Terah or to his brother Nahor? Why would a 75-year-old pick up and leave his whole family support system to follow an unknown God to an undisclosed place? For we have no indication here that Abraham had any idea that God was going to take him to the very same place his father Terah had intended to go. So we can surmise that Abraham was a man of at least modest means, Even though he as yet had no children, he had a household consisting of more than just family, servants, and so forth. And also he apparently had a pretty fair number of possessions. But most importantly, at least in regard to Abraham, we learned that he was a man of faith. And right now, that's really all we need to know about him. Now, I mentioned before that we get an answer to the question, why this family? And the answer is not so much why this particular family as what God's purpose was in choosing Abraham and his family. After the initial promises to Abraham, namely that God will make of him a great nation and that those who bless and those who curse them will themselves be blessed or cursed in turn, it is the promise at the end that tells us everything. And in you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. If you stop and think about it, that's quite a promise right there. In fact, it forms the primary promise of the entire Bible, which makes the story of Abraham's family all the more remarkable. When we return tomorrow, we'll find that even Abraham himself stumbles just a little bit. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do, this day and in all the days ahead.